We should say you're not leaving it totally, it's temporary that you're going away.
I'm welling up. I don't know if I'm welling up because of how bad I looked or because I was crying.
You look lovely.
Been there a long time, haven't I?
I know, well, you've grown up before our very eyes. You really have. Because what age were you when you first started then?
I was 11.
11 years old.
I know, I was tiny.
Goodness, God. How did it come about? Were you in a drama club or something? Or did they come looking for you?
Oh, this was my first scene.
Oh, look at
how squeaky my voice is, though.
But you're only a baby. You're allowed to be squeaky.
Look how young Mike looks, most of the point.
Tyrone has not changed a bit. He looks exactly the same.
Oh, God.
He really does.
I went to drama classes and I just went for this audition. And my mum didn't tell me what it was for, and because I think she didn't want to get me a bit worried, so I just kind of went and did it. And then we got a recall, but she always says, I never thought you'd get that recall. Thanks, Mum. But yeah, so that's just how it happened. I went for my audition, and that's it. I've been there ever since.
But she's got this thing. I mean, the character's hilarious. She, you know, and also there's been a lot of sad things that have happened in her life. Yeah. But she's funny and she's feisty. Yeah. And very honest. She doesn't take any nonsense off of everybody, and I like that. I think that's really good. But you're very natural. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, I do.
Do you know what? I think because I was so young when I started playing her, I think there's a lot of me in her as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
But when you're playing alongside, obviously, characters like Rosie Webster and Sally Webster, obviously Helen and Sally, you're a bit like, well, I'm not doing that, I'm not saying that, you know, very straight compared to their fluffy characters in a certain way. I think Kevin and Sophie are kind of the same.
Oh, they are. I mean, she is her father's daughter, definitely. Yeah. That's really astute, because you can tell that for sure. You really can. Do you like her?
I do.
I like her.
I do like her. I think she's quite funny. It's mad how I speak about her in the third person.
I know, it must be quite strange.
A bit like, Sophie Webster. But, yeah, I do like her. I like my job. I like who I work with. I love where it is. And it's just exciting. It's nice to go to work every day.
Well, that's a good thing, although you are taking a break.
I am.
You are taking a break. Didn't think you'd be able to do this, but you got offered this part.
Yeah.
And then asked the bosses if you could get time off, and they've said yes.
And they've said yeah. They've gone and said yes.
They've gone and said yes, so you've got to do it. Now, tell me about this job that you're doing. So,
so I've just started rehearsals for a play called Be My Baby. We have these massive bumps on, and you know, it's a 60s play, so it's all there's Dusty Springfield playing, and it's all like the kitchen sink drama kind of thing.
Sure.
So we're really having a good time. There I am with my
bump. There's your baby bump.
Yeah, you get a bit attached to that.
And then it's
a bit like when you take it off, and this is going to sound real bad, but you know when you take your bra off at the end of the night, it's like, it's like relief. It's like I've been carrying this big bump around all day. It's like, I've not got a bump no more. But, yeah, I do. It's really nice, and the girls are really nice, and Ruth Maddock's in it as well.
Lovely.
Who is just amazing.
It's not made you broody, has it? It's not made you...
No. I'd have the bump, not the baby.
Right.
It's the baby, and then they grow up, and then you have to feed them and all that. Yeah,
that is way down the line for you. It's a way down the line.
Ages,
far too young just now. But it's an interesting time, because obviously at that time, when a young girl got pregnant, there was a sense of shame. Yeah. And there was a sense of that you couldn't keep your baby. So so it goes into all of those issues?
Yeah, well, definitely. That's what basically the play is. We all go to a convent where the matron, who's played by Ruth, and it's all 4 different stories about how we've all got there and how we're going to go forward from that.
Right.
So it's
so different to what you do. So different to the day job.
So different. It's mad. It's the whole process of it. You know, the rehearsing, and then we go back and rehearse again. Then we go back and rehearse again. Yeah. Whereas I'm used to like rehearsing twice, having a note, taking it, and then we've got to go with it. Whereas this, you've got a lot of time to go through it and then digest and then think about it, which is really good. Yeah, it is. It's a completely different way of working, and I love it. And
what sort of reaction do you get to Sophie? You know, I mean, obviously there was a big storyline about when she came out and she revealed that she was gay. And did you get a really positive response to that? Because obviously you've got to get that right. You know, there's a lot of pressure there.
Before it went out, me and Sash was so nervous because since Anna Friel, it's not been done before.
That's true, since Anna Friel and Brookside,
Nobody in soap has stayed a lesbian. They've had kisses and things like that, but none of them have stayed a lesbian.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
But we've obviously, I have obviously stayed a lesbian, but it's it's nice because you feel part of that. You feel like, you know, I get tweets all the time of girls saying, you really helped me come out, or you let my nan have someone to refer to when she's telling her friends. And,
for sure.
And it's like, that's just my job. I just go and I read the lines and I you know, I'm lucky. I am really, really lucky.
But that's the thing about Corrie, though. It's that sort of integrity, because you can't have characters just sort of deciding one day that they're gay or not. I mean, that's madness, isn't it? It's just crazy. You are what you are. You know, you're that person. And it would be, you know, after all the positive things that you've done, because that's fantastic that young girls are saying to you, you've made it easier for me. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, but like I say, it's not... It's just the privilege I have of playing my character.
Sure. Yeah, of
you
course,
know,
of course.
They just give me the lines and I do it. And you know, there's a lot of people behind me, like researchers and all the cast and all the crew and everyone that works really, really hard to get that final product. And then they just give me a tweet and I'm like, thanks.
OK, I will be doing that, I know. If you'd like to see even more great guests, then click here.
This new storyline, you know, Dad's coming. I know!
But it was your idea, is this true?
Yeah, last year, myself and Amy Walsh, who plays Tracy, we share a dressing room and we were sitting there and I was reading through my scripts and I was like, oh, they're mentioning that my dad's in prison again. And she was like, oh, I've already said that my dad's in prison. And we were, oh. And because on Twitter and things like that, people have said we look quite alike. When they're watching us on screen, they get us mixed up. And one of the makeup girls, Karen, she then said, oh, could you imagine if you had the same dad, if he was the same one in prison?